All right, so I mentioned that we do a lot of online, a lot of health supplements. That's what this was for. This is Life Force. Kim Krause-Schwam was the writer. I've worked with her for probably 20 years. And funny thing was, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5 years after we started working together, we kept getting all these winners, finance, health, whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, on this new campaign, I just need to sit next to you. I have all these sketches done. I just kind of need to show you. It was a printed piece, and I was going to do this unique fold. And I'm like, I live in Maryland, you know. And she's like, wait a minute. I guess she thought I lived out in California or whatever. Everybody always says that. Oh, Lori, are you in California? And I'm like, no, I'm in Maryland. She's in Maryland. She's like, oh, what part? So we kept going back and back, you know, to where our addresses were. And lo and behold, like, I do this long run at night, and I run like right near her house. So she's like 10, 15, 20 minutes away from me at the most. I could run there. So we decided to start meeting at each other's studios or at a coffee shop. And that was when print was really exploding, and me just being able to show her things. If you ever get the opportunity to do a Zoom call like this, really talk on the phone with your writer and the designer, the marketer together, I think that's where that juiciness really comes into play. So in any case, this is for a supplement. You're going to notice, Bobby, just like you said, this rich, trusted blue. I know a lot of people tend to go towards greens. In this particular case, the bottle was kind of concerning me in that respect, so I went with this rich, dark blue. Look at this, live to 120. We tested 2 headlines and leads. The lead ended right about here. You know, this was one test. The other test encompassed that same area, and this one won like hotcakes. I don't think we were ever able to beat it, but this photo just, it really just says it all, living to 120. And so just in a nutshell, Life Force gives you everything you need. Stay healthy, active, vibrant, touches every part of your body. I take it. Ever since I worked on this, it has this unique specificity. It's an ingredient called glutathione, which lots of supplements do not support or have, or they didn't when they came out with this. And for the most part, I try to take a supplement or something that I'm working on, a shake, whatever it is, so I can really feel it and really get the hang of it and see what it all cracked up to be, you know, so I can understand some of the things.
The products of my clients, you know, while I'm working on the thing and just even after the fact. But to Kim's brilliance, that question mark in the headline really, that does it all, right? Like without a question mark.
Right. And the thing is, look, I had to choose a font with a good question mark. Actually, I'll tell you a tip. I don't think this is the question mark that ties in with this font. There's a couple fonts I use a lot. They have a horrible question mark, one of those big, ugly, grotesque ones, and I have to swap it out with some Helvetica or Futura. So be mindful. Don't be stuck. Or the quotes. If you don't like the quote marks and it's a big quote, I have a couple of huge online winners going on right now that are quote-based. I would change that font, make it bigger, reposition it, whatever I have to do to visually draw that person in and make it just, ooh, I want to read this headline. So, yeah, Kim is just brilliant.
You set the color scheme, too. Like,
it's set right here. And look at this, an important message from leading anti-aging and wellness physician, Dr. Russell Canfield, MD. Sometimes I will put a little headshot, a little photo up in the top left. So you go into his eyes. Harris always talks about that. The eyes draw the reader in. People will look at a face and eyes first. I did not want to distract them from this woman. So therefore, I chose not to do that. But I think I did try a couple designs like that.
She's looking right up at the important message.
Yeah. Woo, who hasn't been in that position? I love being in a open air car, right? So this had a little trickiness. This took a lot of work. It looks pretty easy, but you have the eyebrow. This is what I call the eyebrow. I didn't want it to fight with the headline. You have the subhead, you have the subhead, and then you have the very long dear friend line. So I was like, you know, what am I going to do here? So this takes some doing. See this font, just a regular old serif font, dark blue. Notice how this is kind of a sentence. You don't see me with a cap T, a cap A, a cap O, cap P, cap B, cap. That looks like a headline, a subhead. Like, I need people to feel like I'm talking to them. So now I'm trending at doing a lot of sentences as my subheads. Obviously, I'll speak with the copywriter first, or knock down the to, at, of, in, the, that. Anything that's shorter, you know, than 5 letters, this. But really be mindful. And this came over, I think, with a capital H, Y, C, D. It feels like marketing speak. So be mindful of that.
Down a little bit too. Like, it's harder to read and it slows you down when the first letter of each word is caps.
Well, yeah, what happens is, you know, visually you don't realize this unless you study it and you're a nut like me, but people read in shapes. So they recognize the word, they see the shape. If you have a big cap T and O, to is not a key word. According, doctors, Stanford, prestigious, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm.
All those other things go right out the door. You want them to grasp it. Boom, this is from Stanford, prestigious doctors. Hey, I'm gonna listen to this. It isn't Joe Schmo speaking, you know. So we do a sans serif font like this. See how it's tight? Right now, I am not indenting any longer. That might change. We were doing that for a while. It was a good trend. See this spacing? That's where most people go bonkers. They either do too much spacing, it's too tight, it's too loose. You want just read, 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 breath, down, read, 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 like that. If you give them too much space, their mean and angry wife will call them in for supper. They'll get, you know, off track. They'll never come back to your campaign again. So keep in mind that people have lives and what they're doing. 65 and older, it's probably a man, maybe a woman, could be going to golf later. I only have a few minutes to capture him and gain his trust. Lori, what are you going to do? You know, these are the things I come up with. This isn't a round bullet. We use these triangles. At the very, very end, we do some highlighting. We do not do 100% yellow. I mentioned this prior in our call. I don't do 100% yellow any longer. You'll see some of my newer pieces are a little paler, pale just a touch, or pale blue, pale green, pale gray, but nothing striking like this. This was, you know, a while ago. Look at these action photos. Little sidebar of the doctor, first subhead, it's in green. These were probably not bolded. Maybe they were, but typically I will go in on the three-step copy review and fix these. Obviously, again, I'll, Kim, I think this will work better as you're scrolling on the phone. You know, normally people don't try to arm wrestle me to the ground. Look at this, it's engaging. It's got a little bit of the blue, the green.
Yeah, same color.
Interesting. We're known for creating our own photos. Sometimes we'll take a photo and sandwich it with another photo. The last thing we want, and do not do this if you're the designer and you're listening, don't look up a couple on a beach that's 65 and older, and don't look on that first page. There's probably 8,000 pages of those. Go to almost the end, find shots there, because you've seen it before in your mail. Even if it's a product I want, if I see that they're so lame that they've chosen that same photo that everyone else did, I'm like, they're too stupid to get my money. Like, I'm not going to order from them. And, you know, you figure that most of the society is at that point in their lives, you know. These are bold. We probably went in there and did a bold. We made it blue, an action shot. Look at these colors. Each shot is different than the rest. Tom probably went in there and made a little brighter glow, even if it was red.
Yeah, no distracting backgrounds. All the backgrounds are single color.
Yeah. some highlighting, an important chart. Not every photo is in a square. Look at that guy. What do you think about him being cut out?
That's nice, because that sort of, it's almost like an open loop in your mind, right? It like creates a new
Like a
something.
little vignette, right?
Yeah.
It almost tells a little story. It feels real. So you don't want to keep doing square, square, square. I'll show you some tactics on how to get around that. Couple check marks, indent. Look at this, little different shape, color in black and white. Blue, pulling through, action again. Look, we went away from check marks. We're back to those original ones. A good chart for credentialization. A lot of times with Clayton and various other copywriters, I think David Deutsch has us do captions. Those are really, really helpful in case your reader can't catch on. They go there, they're intrigued under the photo. Oh, they caught on to that chart or what you were trying to train them about. They're in. They don't want to feel stupid. They want to catch on. They want to understand. Something like this, an X mark. This is something that we built. There wasn't anything like this. We just got a badge, glued a thigh on, put this on there. See this little caption? It's kind of grayed out. It's a little smaller. It's a little bit away. Mindful, strategic touches. So I mentioned the bottle. I was a little weary of using too much green because the bottle had a lot of green. Putting this red, something like here. This is very important that you let them know at a certain point, and you have to judge this for yourself. Are they ready to click or not? It might be too soon for your product. Some juicy testimonials.
I love the way you took the testimonial and wrapped it in the product's colors, right? The green on the bottom, the blue on the top. If you scroll up, you'll see the same exact colors.
Yep.
On the product itself. That's brilliant.
And notice how the head is here. Whether it's a testimonial or anything else, my little tip is don't make somebody jump up and over important copy. Copy's king. To get, over here to read it, let them read the copy and then integrate, strategically with that visual, the photo, the bottle shot, whatever it is. So you'll see me a lot of times having most visuals on the right.
Yeah, everything so far, all the images are on the right. Nothing goes. Often you'll see back and forth image on the
yeah. Yeah, sometimes we'll do that. If it's going to be just too mundane, you're going to get whiplash. You don't want that to happen. But,
yeah.
So this is where a lot of people go wrong. They'll just stick this in the same font. No, let's put it in the serif font. Let's put it in a lozenge. Let's add a number 1. Maybe it just had 1 on there. We'll add a number 1. Maybe sometimes I'll take off the colon or semicolon or whatever. Maybe it's too much. These are the things designers are supposed to do. It's mandatory. It's thinking, deep work, thinking, being on top of things, and knowing who you're speaking to. Lovely.
It's just so readable. Like even just scanning it, you can tell.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to stay on top? Even if you're like glued a thigh on, I don't want that, a cute little vignette, little tidbit, that bring them back home.
Right there, nice.
We do this a lot. Like I'll do a guy with groceries, and if we're talking about strawberries, maybe it's on this one, I'll put a cutout of the strawberry in the front, like you want to reach out and grab it. So not all boxes, make it flavorable, to the audience. You don't want to bore them to death. That's a lot of designers just look at these nice little captions. And what I do is I don't ask for captions yet because they don't know exactly what photo. I place all the photos. I put a fake caption there. When we're pretty close, I make them number them 1 through 29. Give them to me. We drop them into place. So, you want to, time is of the essence. Some of these have to go out in like 7 days. We're known for being high-end, good thinkers, and we have systems and processes into place. That's why I was saying a lot of people hire me in their company to get those things all mapped out so you can turn and burn. Money, time is money. There's another place you can click. Yeah, so I think we made this too. It was a chart on a chalkboard, and then we added like a hand. There will not be another campaign just like this. I think it really matters these days with so much out there in the world. You want to set yourself and your client apart. A little visual for credentializing. You saw that one above. This is the type of thing that I'll raise my hand and I'll say, like, we need a little chunk. We need a chunk and a chunk and a chunk, because people remember by patterns. They're looking for it. Where is it? Where is it? I want to see it again and again. They'll be looking for these. Anything with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by golly, they'll be looking for that number 6. They'll be waiting for it. Even if they don't want to read, they'll probably be like, ooh, I wonder what number 6 is.
Pulls them down. The number keeps growing, so that it just keeps pulling them down.
Yeah, pulling them down. Now I'm going to show you what we usually do for these really ugly and tiny and hard to read supplement backs of the. I hope it'll still work. Nope. But if this was the real campaign, this is just hosted, so I can show it to you. Let me go back down there. It clicks up, and that big old supplement thing pops up, so you can really read it. So you can just use it as a tip. Yep, right there. So it'll pop up really big. Sorry about that.
Now that section right there, that's pretty interesting, right? Because what you've done is you've made a change here visually. And that's strategic, right? So now you're slowing them down.
Yeah.
Bring them to focus.
For the kill. Yeah. We're talking about, look, without risking 1 cent. And look how, when I roll over.
Nice. And you're keeping to your theme.
Yeah. The crescendo, we'll start talking about, we're getting more copy on here. Oh, there's 2 bottles. 30 days. Oh, he's signed off. Dr. Russ Canfield has signed off. And then we set this look up for the 30-day trial. You see the 2 bottles, risk-free. I'm like, it's risk-free. Look, without risking 1 cent. These are the types of little things that aren't typically in the copy. Maybe they were, I can't remember. But these are the things where a lot of times we'll make a button. I'm like, I want a button here. I want something that states something about how cheap this is. No risk, whatever. And then we'll work back and forth. I might have said, Kim, what do you think we should put there? She'll bang out 3 or 4 things. That one's too long, too short, not specific. Oh, this one looks, it's like the 3 bears effect or something.
Now talk to me about that left column there. I've never seen that done before. Trial.
Yeah, this could be a trademark. I would not consider copying this. Just something unique to say that this was a 30-day trial. I actually think this particular company, after we did the first one, we worked with them on this deeply. I think this was their look for as long as I can remember. Maybe they couldn't test out of it, but trying something new like this instead of the boxes and things, you'll see kind of how we crescendo near the end. Yep, look at this. A lot of designers are so lazy. They'll just put a box, or they'll just leave this in the running body copy. No. Get yourself a nice certificate. This one we made blue. And it's at the very end. And then there's all the references, and then the footer, of course. A lot of times now what's trending is FAQs and Q&As at the end. Yeah. Hey, I see you're still here. I bet you have a couple questions. Hey, just click on these, and Tom, in his brilliantness, he codes it so you can only see the question, and it's in a sentence, and then you click it, and then it drops under, and then it'll close back up so you can see all the questions. Nobody wants to see all the questions and answers. They want to scan those 6. Yep, I need to know 2 and 3. I'm going to pop under using this arrow. Boom, I'm in. Okay.
Absolutely. It gets to the point where at this stage of the page, there's a bit of like scroll fatigue going on.
Exactly. They are getting weary they want it to come, they want to be done. They got to go, pick up their grandkid at the soccer field or something. So you have to be mindful of that. That's why that gets me back to that first thing, Bobby, that 3-step copy review. That's what I'm thinking. By here, will they be bored? Am I intriguing them? Is it exciting enough? Can I pull off those photos that'll, duct tape them down and make them want to stay on? And that's the duty of the designer.
A good designer.
Yeah. Yes, I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that was fantastic. One of the things, just to give you some feedback and some pointers, one of the things I'm finding in some of these long form pages, because we do a lot of analysis of how people are using the page. So we'll put not heat maps, but we'll also put session tracking so we can actually watch them go through the page.
Yes, I do that as well. Hotjar, heat maps, whatever it is.
So one I've been seeing lately is people scrolling all the way down.
Yeah.
Zooming it from the bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been seeing the same?
Yeah, or they'll scroll all the way down. They'll get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Supplement, memory. Go down there. If they can't really understand, I'm guessing, the price, the guarantee, the offer, then they'll go to the order form even. They might make a decision there. So this is what I think. You might not agree with me, but people that do that probably aren't in for the big lifetime value that I want them to be in. It's the reader that reads pretty much all of it. They're in for the long haul. They're going to buy anything I sell them. So seeing which ones that you can probably count on to be with you. That's why, you must create the ultimate customer experience no matter what you're doing. It's got to, from every touch point, like once you get them to say yes and they call the 800 number, say, in my print campaign, that's what I lead with is an 800 number. If that person on the end of the line isn't on point and doesn't project the same feeling, all this is for nothing. If they don't know how to talk about the offer, upsell them, be courteous. If you don't get a really well-designed, well-thought-out, welcome to so-and-so, love having you. If you don't open up those supplements and pull out those 3 bottles and there's not a really nice, crisp, just regular design but friendly looking, thank you or welcome or a 10% discount, or people just they know how to bring them into this big bucket, but they don't realize that as they're swooping them in, they have the biggest hole possible in their bucket. And as soon as they get in, you get all this money, and then most of it drains back out. They keep doing this,
yep.
Which is great for me because that just gives me more work. But it does make me scratch my head. Like, why can't you retain? Retention is just as much of a king as copy is. So, yeah. So I hope these shares were helpful for you today. Like, do you have any questions? Is there anything like, ooh, I didn't get it when you said that. I don't know what you were talking about.
No, it was all very extremely helpful. And just to see it visually and to walk through sort of the thinking was fantastic. Some of the things that stood out for me is all images on one side, one column, again, drawing them down all the way through. Mm-hmm. Very limited color palette. You had like 3 colors there, the green, the blue, maybe you just had 2 colors.
Yeah, and a little touch of like red once in a while.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful of red, orange. Like if you're dealing with joint pain is red, throbbing, feverish. You have to be very careful with that. Some designers think, oh, I'll just make everything shout and scream in red. And they're like, I just want cool blue and blue to feel relaxed and have my pain go away.
Balance, right? Because maybe during the problem agitation part, you want to lead them with the red, but then after you're presenting the solution, right now you want to cool it down.
That's a great idea. Yes.
It's subtle. But it also depends on how the copy is written as well. So again, it goes back to design being the queen, as you said, to the copy that's king. and maybe we can add retention as the bishop. I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. Definitely.
This was amazing, Lori. I want to thank you so much for your time. Is there where can people go to learn more about you, to work with you, to get more of your design powers?
Yeah, they could go to my website. It's just Lori, Lori, at Lori Haller, LORIHALLER.com. I will warn you, I don't post a million examples on my website. I typically have people fill out the form. They let me know what they're interested in, whether it's design training, processes, helping their company grow and scale, or the agency work, or whether they want me to speak or whatever. And but definitely hit me up. I'd love to hear from you. Even if you don't have something for me to do, I'd love to hear from you, meet you, get to know what you're doing. And then you can just Google my name, and there's tons of interviews, podcasts, lots of stuff. Disregard any of the bad things. I'm sure it's probably not true, or it probably is true. No, but I'd love to hear from you. And I really, I appreciate you. And I'm so thankful for you, Bobby, for inviting me in. And it was very thoughtful of you. I enjoyed our time together. And I hope people find something helpful in this that'll help us, get them to reach their goals.
Thank you. You've been a pleasure. I've enjoyed this session with you, Lori. It's great.
All right. Have a great day.
All righty. Bye-bye.